Welcome back to another video. I'm glad having you with me today. And for today's video, I'll be covering IONQ, but I am not going to cover the entire portfolio of IONQ. We understand that they are a bedrock of a company that's going to play an important role in the critical infrastructure of the world, through their quantum technology ecosystem. And that's what makes them so special, right? They have quantum computing, quantum sensing, quantum cybersecurity, and many others, right? But today I'll just be covering the quantum cybersecurity portion because Q Day is upon us. Maybe you don't know what Q Day is. I'll quickly run it down and I'll tell you why IONQ is playing an important role in this future in creating this infrastructure that is unhackable, proven by the laws of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, whatever you want to call it. But again, I'll be covering that. Again, anything that I say here is not financial advice. It is not financial advice. I will repeat that again. So please do your own due diligence. This is just a company that I love. I love what it stands for. I love where it's headed. I love its future. So I'm just speaking about it. This is just for entertainment. I am not your financial advisor. I do not have a financial advisor myself. Casper the Ghost might be him. He's nowhere to be found. But let's dig in. So we are seeing right before our very own eyes how technology is forever evolving, and it's evolving at a pace which the world just did not see coming. It wasn't too long ago where we finally harnessed the true power of NVIDIA's GPUs to use it for artificial intelligence, right? Many people thought artificial intelligence would be hundreds of years away, but we achieved that so much faster than anyone anticipated. But that was a day of joy where humanity saw artificial intelligence. Well, we're going to solve a lot of these things, and that was perfect. But there is another event that is at the dawn, that is at the door. It's knocking and it's coming. You can't avoid it. That is called Q Day. If you don't know what Q Day is, I'll put a quick AI overview of what Q Day is. Q Day is when a quantum computer comes online where it is powerful enough, where it is accurate enough to where it can break the current cryptography, right? So if you don't know, every infrastructure run on current cryptography standards, RSA and all these other companies you have in the market are there trying to protect you from cyber attacks. You have the CrowdStrikes, you have the Zscalers, you have all these cyber companies. And still today, hacking groups, right? Hacking groups, you have hackers who are taking people's information and they're doing the worst things with it, right? Stealing your credit card information, stealing your Bitcoin keys, whatever they can get their hands on, they're going to do it. And this is the critical failure of modern cybersecurity companies, right? Because they do not have what IONQ will be providing. As to how this is going to play out, I am not sure, but I know IONQ is going to play an important role in implementing this infrastructure. So now IONQ's technology is one that is very important, right? It uses both hardware and software solution. Companies right now and governments right now they don't need to make a massive investment. It's a moderate investment, as stated by Niccolo De Masi, that would prevent your company, right? If you're a bank, you want to make sure you are safe from the attacks of quantum computers. If you're holding Bitcoin, you want to make sure that you are safe from the attacks of a quantum computer, right? If you are a government, right, when you're sending message back and forth, you want a safe communication network. You want to make sure another state cannot steal your secrets. Hospitals, right? You want to make sure that key information about your patients are not just taken, right? And have historical data on them and everyone's DNAs out there. And who knows, they can make an attack to target you based on your genetic information. So IONQ is at the forefront, right? They use PQs, they use post-quantum cryptography, and they also use QKD, quantum key distribution, to solve this issue. Why is this important? Well, a quantum computer, in theory, cannot hack it cannot hack this, right? Because it uses quantum. Quantum against quantum in this, right? You're bringing a fight to a fight. You're bringing a gun to a gunfight. It's not like right now, if we just remain under current standards, and a quantum computer that is powerful enough comes online, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, right? It's going to break the current standards. Why? Because at the bedrock, at the foundation of all these current standards, it's simply a mathematical equation, and a quantum computer is going to be able to break it. And IonQ is the company that is preventing this currently. They've set up quantum networks in Switzerland. They've done it in Romania. They've even done it now in Slovakia, right? Actually connecting to the palace of the president. So we are seeing this at play currently. And if you don't believe me, if you think I'm just kidding, right? Q-Day, based on the experts, they are expecting early 2030 as the earliest, and then 2035 the latest. So this is coming now. If you're a Bitcoin bro, oops, you're gonna need IonQ, right? Your bank, oop, you're going to need IonQ. The government, oop, you're going to need IonQ. The grids, oop, you're going to need IonQ, because somebody could just hack the grid and massive blackouts, right? So IonQ is the only company right now that I know of, at least American company, that's working in quantum, that provides us that infrastructure, that provides us that safe communications for telecommunication companies, safe sending of transactions, banking transactions. They're working with multiple, actually, banks. And if you don't believe me, Jamie Dimon himself has spoken about this recently, right? A lot of hacking's taking place, a lot of targets, right? And we know quantum computers, there's a lot of fear with Bitcoin. We see Bitcoin dropping, and a lot of that, people are saying the fears of quantum computing is actually real. So I'll be posting a quick clip of this where hacking is taking place right now towards the banks, through the current administration, where we are seeing back and forth war with Iran.
This is a race against our adversaries. It's not just a race against smaller adversaries like Iran that honestly don't have a quantum posture, but there's bigger ones like China that obviously recognize that after AI, quantum is the next big technological wave. And so the U.S. succeeding in that is all about, we believe, IonQ supporting the industry, IonQ capitalizing quantum foundries, the merchant supplier business, and of course, making sure that we lead in computing, networking, sensing, and quantum cybersecurity. This is the battlefield of the future right here.
I'm glad you brought up cybersecurity. In fact, since the strikes on Iran began, this has been a huge issue. Cybersecurity firms have tracked something like 60 hacktivist groups launching attacks on the U.S., allied targets. Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan issued a warning about this. He, in essence, said that banks could be targeted. Are you helping any banks to intercept these kinds of cybersecurity attacks?
Yeah, we are absolutely partners with some of the largest banks and telcos in the world. They use our quantum key distribution security, which is physical security on fiber optic cables. They also use our post-quantum cryptography, which is a software solution. We believe that every significant corporation, every government branch needs IonQ cybersecurity, and it needs it now, because this not only protects you in a world where quantum computers are standard, but it also protects you today. And ultimately, quantum security is really quite affordable relative to the existential threat that's out there.
As you can see, the CEO of the largest financial institution is taking this very seriously in terms of hacking, right? And I'm sure he has Zscaler, CrowdStrike embedded within his infrastructure, but that's still not enough, you know? QKD, PQC is the way to go, and everybody's going to be going on there. You know, President Trump's current cybersecurity memorandum he put out includes post-quantum cryptography. So this is something the government's tracking. This is something government bodies from Switzerland, the UK, they're setting up these infrastructure in place. And IonQ is the main player right now through its subsidiary in ID Quantique that's building this. Now, I want you to just think about this for a second. What will be the value of a company that protect us from cyber attacks? What will be the value of a company that protect us not from just cyber attacks from someone in their grandma's basement who's just good at coding and hacking banks and doing all of this? No, from a quantum computer itself. I mean, what's going to be the multiple? Can you really put a PE on that company that you say, oh, this is the PE it deserves. This is the price to sales it deserves. No, you can't, because it's all about the value proposition, right? This company is providing an underlying infrastructure that is protecting the world as we know it. The world will run on IONQ's cybersecurity infrastructure. And I am backing IONQ all the way. I believe Damasi is a visionary. He's a multi-dimensional thinker, as the CFO Andy Sink said. And I can see it, right? He's all about IONQ. And I really believe as a cybersecurity play, let's say you're not a believer in quantum computing, you don't believe in the timelines. That's fine, right? But sure, today people are already migrating. Why they are migrating? Because you might say, oh, quantum computers won't be powerful enough to do this stuff that you're talking about until 20 years from now, right? Let's say that. But governments today are taking data, right? Hackers are taking data today, and they are waiting for the time, right? They're harvesting data. They are waiting to harvest this data. And then once a quantum computer is powerful enough, they get their hands on it, then they're going to crack it. They can have access to your social security. They can have access to your birth certificate, everything. I mean, we know the dark web probably has all of our information, right? And it's for sale to the highest bidder. This is the stuff we're talking about, and IONQ is going to put an end to that. So again, I ask you, think for a second. What PE would you put on that company? What price to sales ratio would you put on that company, right? Again, I believe IONQ is going to play a critical role in this infrastructure, and I believe they are going to be a major winner. I believe all the cybersecurity companies will come running to them for their PQC, QKD network and infrastructure. And then they're probably going to embed within those companies and provide that to their customers. But again, there is no future without IONQ right now. There is no cybersecurity hope without IONQ right now. And again, for a thought experiment, tell me, how would you value that company? To me, it's going to be worth more than it is today. That's just me. But again, that is not financial advice. Casper the Ghost is my financial advisor. So please do not take anything that I say seriously. With that being said, that will be all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think. Peace.